Hi, senior. Could you tell me where the humanities building is? I'm new here and not familiar with the campus yet, Emma asked. Her cheeks slightly blushing in the warm breeze, Jake was immediately attracted to her innocent look, like a blank canvas waiting to be painted. Their first encounter might have been a coincidence, but the subsequent ones were all his deliberate efforts. Emma quickly became popular on the school's official website as soon as she entered the school. She even surpassed the senior girls in her senior year and became the campus belle. It was because of this that Jake found out Emma was the girl who had asked for directions that day. Emma was low-key and didn't like to show off. So even though Jake got the news, he couldn't easily find her. Jake secretly paid attention to Emma's news. He watched her shine with confidence in the debate competition, her softness on the stage, and her quiet appearance in class. He had to admit that he was gradually becoming interested in her. Jake appeared more and more frequently around Emma, but Emma didn't like him very much. Out of politeness, she could only respond to him politely. The student union president is chasing the new campus belle. This rumor spread widely in the school. Many people hoped to see them together. Even though neither of the two parties had made any statements, Jake successfully won Emma's heart by pretending to be injured and taking advantage of her kindness. Without any dating experience, Emma gradually fell in love with him. When Jake was in graduate school, Emma was just a sophomore. Even though they were in a long-distance relationship, Jake always found time to visit Emma. People often saw them walking slowly on campus. Time flew by. When Emma was about to graduate from college, as an outstanding student representative, she gave a speech at the graduation ceremony. At the end of the speech, Jake came to the stage with a large bouquet of red roses and knelt down on one knee to propose to her. Emma, from the moment I saw you, I lost my heart to you. I often secretly watched you and didn't even dare to tell you that I was your listener. When we were in a long-distance relationship during graduate school, I always worried that there would be someone better than me taking care of you. Let's get married after getting through this long-distance relationship. Now that you're graduating, I have the ability to give you a home. Emma, let me take care of you for the rest of my life. Okay, what beautiful vows. What a beautiful future it seemed to be. But unfortunately, things changed. The school leaders, who had watched the two grow up together, secretly prepared a surprise for Emma. Tears welled up in Emma's eyes as she looked at Jake kneeling in front of her. She hugged the man she had loved for 4 years tightly. When Emma's mother saw Jake proposing to her daughter, she was shocked, not with joy but with anger. However, she managed to hold back her urge to rush onto the stage and pull Emma away. Mom and Dad, this is Jake, my boyfriend. Emma introduced Jake to her parents. Emma's parents knew their daughter's feelings when they saw her bringing Jake home. They just told the nanny to cook a few more dishes without saying much. The four of them sat in the living room, chatting intermittently. When it came to practical issues like houses and cars, Jake lowered his head. His company had just started, and he couldn't offer Emma much. He just promised that he wouldn't let Emma be wronged. This promise didn't satisfy Emma's parents, and the dinner ended unhappily. Emma understood her parents' concerns, but Jake was also very important to her. Jake, here's 500,000, together with your savings. It should be enough for the wedding expenses, Emma said, after thinking for a long time. My parents just want me to be happy. They may seem tough, but they're actually kind-hearted. Don't take it to heart. I understand your parents' thoughts, but my company is just starting up, and I've invested a lot of money in it. Your mother is right. It would be hard for you to follow me now. Jake hesitated. Maybe we should break up. Saying goodbye to the person he loved most. Jake felt his heart stabbed like a needle. Emma couldn't believe her ears. Why did they have to break up when they were about to get married? Just because of what her parents said? No, we have the money for the wedding expenses. Why break up? We have it now. But what about the future? Do you want me to use your money as company funds? I can't do that, Emma, Jake said, grabbing Emma's shoulders in despair. Jake, after we get married, there's no need to distinguish between yours and mine. It will all be our common property, and with my family's support, your company will definitely get better. Emma comforted Jake, secretly deciding to help him expand the company. Jake thought of what his mother had said to him before. Son, the Smith family is wealthy. Even a little profit from their business can make our lives much better. So you must hold on to Emma. Try to do things according to her wishes and don't do anything you'll regret. And now, I can only rely on you. I'm old and not in good health. Emma can not only bring us a better life but also take care of me at home. You just focus on your career, and I'll be taken care of by Emma. Of course, if the Smith family agrees to your marriage with Emma, it would be great. With the marriage relationship, Emma will surely help you wholeheartedly. Jake couldn't deny that he was tempted when his mother said these things. What was most important to him was his mother and his company. It would be nice if his mother had someone to accompany her at home, and he needed a backer in his company. Emma was the most suitable candidate. Emma's parents could see through Jake at a glance. When they wanted to persuade their daughter to give up, they found it was too late. Emma's feelings for Jake were deeper than her parents had imagined. They had tried many ways to make her give up Jake, but it only made her feelings for Jake stronger. So, Emma's parents met Jake alone. "Hello, Uncle and Aunt," Jake greeted them, looking nervous as he sat on the couch in the Smith's house. "Don't be nervous. You should know why we asked you here today. Let's get straight to the point," Emma's mother said, not wanting to waste time. "Here's 1,000,000. Break up with my daughter. You should know that with our family's conditions, you're kind of marrying above your station." As she spoke, the servant brought a pot of tea and some pastries. Emma's mother took a sip of the green tea and exuded an air of nobility. Emma's father, seeing Jake's increasingly embarrassed look and thinking of his daughter, spoke to Jake firmly. "Mr. Jake, my wife and I have seen my daughter's feelings for you, but she's still young, and we're not ready for her to get married yet. I believe you're smart enough to understand what we mean." Was he really going to lose Emma, who was like a princess? Jake closed his eyes and suddenly knelt down in front of Emma's parents, which surprised them. "Uncle and Aunt, my feelings for Emma are real. I love her. Even if I have nothing, I'll give her the best I can. The first time Emma appeared in my life, I knew I was destined to fall for her. Then I tried every way to talk to her. At first, Emma wasn't moved by me, but after getting along, she gradually fell in love with me, and I got to know her better. Our relationship was ordinary, but we got through the long-distance relationship and experienced many setbacks. Meeting the person I want to protect for a lifetime, the most powerless and helpless age. But now I can give Emma a better life. If I can't be with the person I love most in this life, that would be the greatest regret." Jake knelt there for a long time. Then Emma rushed over and pulled him up. She stood in front of her parents and said, "Mom and Dad, if you can't accept Jake, just say so. Why humiliate him like this? It was my idea to marry him. If you object, I'll never come back home." Looking at Emma, who was so blinded by love, Emma's father could only sigh and agree to their marriage. Even though he didn't agree, he had to do it for his daughter. The Smiths' concession made Jake's family more arrogant. The wedding expenses were constantly reduced, and in the end, only the 500,000 Emma gave was used. Knowing the true nature of Jake's family, Emma's parents gave their daughter more dowry to ensure that Jake's family would treat her well. Everyone in the city said that the Smith's daughter had married a poor guy who couldn't even afford the wedding expenses. But they were shocked by the Smiths' generous dowry, although the wedding was planned by both families. In fact, Jake's family didn't care about the details at all. Even Emma's wedding ring didn't fit her well. Only Emma knew the dissatisfaction of the whole wedding. But she still had to smile and tell everyone in the city that she was happy to marry Jake. Emma, who was like a princess and the dream girl of all unmarried men in the city, walked towards marriage in a white wedding dress with a smile. She thought her married life would be more beautiful. But the day after the wedding, Jake's mother started to treat her coldly. As a daughter-in-law of the Jake family, you should serve your mother-in-law. Get up early to cook, and do all the housework. You can't just wait for me to cook. Understand? Today, I'll let it go because you're tired from the wedding. But starting tomorrow, you'll start cooking at 5:30 in the morning, and the breakfast should be different every day for a week." Jake's mother ordered. Emma, who had been spoiled since childhood, didn't know how to cook at all. Even when she was with Jake, she never had the idea of cooking. "Mom, as a daughter-in-law of the Jake family, I'll be respectful and well-behaved. But with our family's conditions, we can easily hire servants and cooks. There's no need for me, a newly married woman, to do these things. Those servants and cooks are not as caring as you. Since you said you'll be obedient, you should be in the kitchen preparing lunch now." Jake's mother said. Looking down on her, Emma was in a difficult situation. At this time, Jake came downstairs and saw the stalemate. He knew what his mother had said to Emma. Okay, Mom. Emma just got married. These things are supposed to be done by servants and cooks. There's no need to make Emma do them. Otherwise, what are we paying them for? Jake's mother thought Emma had used some tricks because her son was taking Emma's side. After this incident, Emma discussed with Jake about moving out, but Jake disagreed, worrying that the servants wouldn't take good care of her. In the end, Emma had to continue living there. Fortunately, she got along well with Jake's mother later. Half a month later, Jake planned to take Emma on a honeymoon. When Jake's mother heard the news, she also wanted to go. I've worked hard all my life. Now, I just want to go on a vacation. Are you going to leave me behind? Jake's mother complained. I'm so pitiful. I raised you alone. And now that I'm old and want to enjoy myself for a few years, you'll avoid me. It's so unfair. Jake's mother's crying and making a scene made Emma very annoyed. In the end, Jake decided to take his mother with them. Emma questioned Jake. This is our honeymoon. Why do we have to take your mom? If she really wants to travel, we can take her another time. Why this time? Mom is getting old, and it's not easy for me to have some free time. Next time, I promise I'll only take you out. Okay, Emma. You're the most obedient. You won't care about this, right? Jake held Emma's hand and comforted her, promising that this wouldn't happen again, but it happened again and again. And Emma was really tired. Emma's parents only knew that their daughter was a bit tired. They had warned Jake's mother, but Jake's mother's attitude towards Emma became worse. Sometimes, she even spoke rudely to Emma in front of Jake. Every time, Emma was very angry, but Jake always comforted her and asked her to be more tolerant towards his mother, for Jake's sake. Emma endured again and again, but her constant concessions made Jake's mother's behavior even more excessive. One stormy night, the rain was pouring heavily. Emma was awakened by the thunder. She reached out to touch the place beside her, but it was cold. Jake hadn't come back yet. She looked at her phone and found that it was already 1 a.m. This was the 16th time Jake had come home late this month. Seeing that Jake didn't come back to the room for a long time, Emma put on a coat and went downstairs to look for him. But there was no one downstairs. Wasn't it Jake who came back? When she was about to go back to the room, she heard voices coming from the study at the end of the corridor. She followed the sound and heard the conversation between Jake's mother and Jake. The content of the conversation shocked her. She was so scared that she broke out in a cold sweat. She felt like she was in hell and just wanted to escape from the Jake family. When Emma finally left the Jake family, she realized that she didn't even take an umbrella or her wallet. It was too late to go back to her parents' house. Emma could only walk slowly along the road. Aimlessly, her ears were filled with the conversation between Jake's mother and Jake. How's Tina? Her condition is critical now. You must take good care of her. Jake's mother's concern was obvious. Jake's voice came, sounding a bit tired. Mom, Tina is fine. But what about Emma now? What else can we do? She should leave the house with nothing. And we must get back all the money we spent on the wedding. Otherwise, we'll lose a lot. Jake's mother said matter-of-factly. Leave the house with nothing. Mom, you know what Emma's parents are like. They won't allow that. Why not? Besides, the most important thing now is to divorce Emma. I've had enough of having such a young lady as a daughter-in-law. By the way, when are we going to bring Tina here? I'll take care of her myself. Let's wait a while. Mom, if Emma finds out that I have someone else, what will she think? Jake sighed. And I don't want to divorce her. Jake's mother slapped the table in anger. Divorce. And she must leave the house with nothing. Emma can't get a single thing from our Jake family. Divorce her as soon as possible. Or Tina's condition can't wait. Mom. Let me think about it. I know I'm sorry to Emma. Enough. Haven't I given you enough time? At home, I have to prevent Emma from finding out about you. I arranged your meetings with Tina. And I covered for you every time you went on a date. Even when Tina went for a pregnancy checkup. I covered for you. Now, before she could finish, Emma stumbled away from the Jake family. Divorce. Pregnancy. Tina. Pregnancy checkup. These words kept swirling in Emma's mind. Boom, the thunder grew louder. And soon, the rain began to pour down. The rain dripped down Emma's hair. and her wet nightgown stuck to her body. She felt dizzy and finally fainted. Emma woke up in the hospital. A man was sitting by the bed, looking through some documents. "Are you awake?" The man's voice was cold and emotionless. "Did you save me?" Emma asked. Already sure of the answer, the man looked at Emma, as if trying to see through her. His gaze made Emma feel uncomfortable. There was a kind of person who could make others feel afraid just by sitting quietly. "I don't know what you've been through, but since you're awake, I'll leave," the man said, getting up to leave with the documents. "Wait, could you listen to my story?" Emma's voice was weak. Like a broken butterfly, the man looked at Emma for a long time and then agreed. "Tell me." 4 years of relationship, more than half a year of marriage, but it still couldn't withstand a so-called friend. "My husband had an affair with another woman and she's pregnant. My mother-in-law helped him hide it from me. Now, even if we divorce, I'm supposed to leave the house with nothing. It's so ridiculous. I loved him so much that I even went against my parents' wishes to marry him. Although there have been some bad times in our marriage, I still thought it was happy, but this marriage ended so quickly. I'm not willing, but I don't know what to do." Emma's story was short and she told it in a subtle way, but the man listened. "When I saved you, you were only wearing a thin nightgown. It's rare for a girl to go out like that in the middle of the night. And you were caught in the rain. You had a high fever on the way to the hospital, and you kept chanting Jake's name. I think you're Emma, the daughter of the Smith family who got married more than half a year ago. Everyone says that the daughter of the Smith family is extremely smart and beautiful. She once saved the Smith family's company from bankruptcy and even doubled its profits. Everyone in the city admires Emma. The Emma I know is the daughter of the Smith family, a confident and elegant young lady, but not like this, wearing a nightgown in the rain, looking like a deserted wife." Everyone said that Emily, the daughter of the Smith family, was extremely intelligent and stunningly beautiful. She single-handedly saved the Smith Group from the verge of bankruptcy and even doubled its profits. Everyone in New York admired Emily when her name was mentioned. "The Emily I know is the daughter of the Smith family, the decisive young director. She is confident and elegant, and every gesture exudes charm, but not like this, wearing pajamas in the rain, looking as desolate as a deserted wife," the man said. "Emily, you can never be defeated. The only one who can defeat you is yourself. Emily, has anyone ever told you that you were born to be a strong-willed woman, not a fragile flower in a greenhouse?" The man didn't usually talk so much, but every word hit home. Emily sat on the hospital bed, listening to his words, and seemed to understand something. After a long time, Emily smiled softly, looking at the man with a gentle gaze, and her previous dispirited look disappeared. "Thank you. Although I don't know who you are, your words have really inspired me a lot." Seeing Emily's expression, the man prepared to leave. "I've contacted Mr. Smith. He's on his way here. I have something else to do, so I'll leave first." "Will I see you again? How can I contact you? If there's a chance in the future, we'll definitely meet again, Miss Smith." Emily watched the man leave. Feeling a bit disappointed deep in her heart, she sat on the bed. Moments later, Emily's parents rushed into the ward anxiously. "Emily, are you okay? Why were you sent to the hospital?" Emily's mother was almost crying, on the verge of hugging her. "Where is that guy from the Johnson family? Doesn't he know you're in the hospital?" Emily's father was furious when he saw Emily's haggard face and that she was alone in the ward. When Emily saw her parents, tears welled up in her eyes immediately. "Mom and Dad, please don't mention him. For now, I don't want to hear his name." Seeing their daughter like this, Emily's parents felt so that they didn't know what to say. They could only follow their daughter's wishes and not mention Jake for the time being. The Johnsons didn't care much when they couldn't find Emily. Jake only pretended to look for her and then gave up quickly. Finally, Jake had no choice but to call the Smith family and was told that Emily had returned to her parents' home and wouldn't be living in the Johnson family for the time being. Only then did Jake feel relieved. Even when Emily was living in her parents' home, her mental state was still not good. This was the first time her parents had seen their precious daughter like this, and their hearts ached. Her father even did most of his work at home. "Emily, tell Mom, did that guy from the Johnson family bully you? Tell me, and Mom will stand up for you." Hearing this, Emily, who was lying on a deck chair in the yard, looked at her mother with a tired voice. "Mom, I'm fine. Don't worry, I'll be better in a while." Seeing Emily's poor complexion and weak voice, her mother could only tell her to take good care of herself. "Emily, why are you in the hospital? You should be in the Johnson family, right?" Emily's father asked. Sitting on a bench beside her, the air seemed to freeze. Her parents looked at Emily, worried that she wouldn't tell them the reason. "It's just that after a long time, he wanted someone new." With this sentence, her parents understood something. That night, I got up to see if Jake had come back. Unexpectedly, I heard Jake and his mother talking in the study. I never thought his mother would help him hide it from me. She even destroyed my relationship with Jake. Now that woman is pregnant with Jake's child, and his mother wants me to divorce Jake and leave the house with nothing. But what did I do wrong? I was a dutiful daughter-in-law at home, taking care of his mother and maintaining the family bond. One also tried my best to help Jake with his career. In the end, I got such a result. Mom and Dad, what else can I do? As she said this, Emily laughed, but tears also fell. After all these years of relationship, has it really come to this? Looking at Emily, who was exhausted both physically and mentally, her parents felt extremely sad. I left the Johnson family that night after hearing those things. I fainted on the road in the rain and was saved and sent to the hospital. When Emily's mother heard that someone had sent her to the hospital, she quickly asked, "Do you know who sent you? Since that person saved you, we must thank him well." Emily shook her head. "I don't know who he is, but he seems to know my identity. Even if I want to thank him, I don't know how. I'll look into this. Emily, just stay at home and rest assured. If the Johnsons come, your mother will deal with them," her father said after thinking for a while. He thought it was better to find out the truth. "Okay, Dad," Emily replied. At first, everyone thought Emily would only stay at her parents' home for a few days. But as time passed, Jake felt something was wrong. It had been almost 2 months, and Emily showed no sign of returning to the Johnson family. Jake's mother was very anxious. At first, she pretended to care about Emily, but later she didn't care at all. Now, as time went by, she became more and more anxious. Of course, it wasn't because she missed Emily, but because Tina was showing her pregnancy, and it was hard to hide it anymore. Although Jake felt guilty, his mother to go to the Smith family to find Emily. Naturally, the divorce couldn't be hidden anymore. "Mrs. Smith, what does Emily mean? She doesn't go home. Doesn't take care of her mother-in-law or husband. What kind of daughter-in-law is she?" Jake's mother said aggressively, looking like a mean mother-in-law. This made Emily's mother disgusted, and she regretted marrying her daughter into such a family. "What do you mean by not going home? This is Emily's home since she was born. No matter what happens to her, this will always be her home. And what does it mean to be a daughter-in-law? Does a daughter-in-law have to serve her husband and in-law submissively to be considered filial?" Emily's mother's words were sharp but reasonable. In contrast, Jake's mother's appearance was really annoying. "Fine. Since you don't want to send Emily back, let's get a divorce. After all, she's like a hen that can't lay eggs. We the Johnsons made a mistake in choosing her. Okay, let's get a divorce. But even if we do, it's our Smith family who will initiate it first," Emily's mother said. Since the divorce was already on the table, there was no point in arguing. "Sure, let's divorce. But Emily must leave the house with nothing, and we want all the wedding expenses we gave back," Jake's mother said. She didn't want the Smith family to get any benefits even if they divorced. "Let me remind you, Mrs. Johnson, most of the wedding expenses Jake gave were actually from me. Emily, if you want them back, please return my $500,000 first," Emily said, rushing over when she heard Jake's mother was at her home. When Jake's mother heard that the $500,000 was Emily's, she shrank her head a little. Then, she thought of something and shouted, "My son has plenty of money now. He can easily afford $500,000. You high-class Smiths are all bullies. I'll sue you. Just wait for the court summons. I tell you, my son has connections in the court. You'll be begging for a divorce then." But the Smiths weren't as scared as she thought. Instead, they were calm. And Jake's mother even saw mockery in their eyes. They were looking at her like she was a clown, just as the atmosphere was tense. Emily's father walked into the living room with a stack of documents. Go ahead and sue, but let me make one thing clear. This is evidence that your son has been using the so-called marital property to support another woman. Just the problems in Jake's company are enough to send him to jail. You Johnsons should think carefully. Which will come first? Jake going to jail or that illegitimate child having problems? Although Jake's mother was aggressive, she knew she couldn't get the upper hand at this point. We were in-laws once. Let me call you that one last time for the sake of our relationship in the past year. From now on, we'll go our separate ways. Our Smith family won't help your Johnson family at all. Let's see each other in court for the divorce. See the guest out. The Smiths politely escorted Jake's mother out. When she reached the gate, Jake's mother reacted and started cursing at the Smith family. Damn it. Sue me if you dare. I'm not afraid. You just wait to leave the house with nothing. Emily, you're an unfilial daughter-in-law. You don't take care of your mother-in-law or husband. You deserve to be alone. Just wait. You'll lose the lawsuit. The Johnsons are not to be trifled with. The curses became more and more unpleasant. Finally, Jake came and dragged his mother away. Jake looked back. On the second floor of the luxurious villa behind him stood his wife. Emily. She had lost weight, with a sickly beauty and a pitiful fragility. But she no longer had the shyness and tenderness she used to have towards him. Her eyes were so indifferent that they seemed to see through his heart, making him feel nervous. The news of Emily's divorce in New York caused a stir. The in-laws who were once on good terms were now in court. People wondered what had happened in their short-lived one-year marriage. In the end, the public only knew that the Johnson family lost the lawsuit, and Emily got most of the Johnson family's property. Then she went abroad to study and disappeared from the public eye. Emily knew that her marriage to Jake had probably come to an end when she heard the conversation between Jake's mother and Jake that day. Emily knew Tina. Her real name was Tina Tao. She was Jake's business partner and had met Emily before. But Emily never thought it was her. During the days when Emily was recuperating at home, she once met Tina. From Tina, Emily got a lot of information. At first, Jake's mother had arranged for Tina and Jake to meet, but she didn't know that the two had known each other long before Emily and Jake met. Now that they were business partners, Tina knew Jake better than Emily. Tina said that every time Jake came home late or didn't come home at all, he was with her. Every time Jake made an excuse not to be with Emily, he was actually having fun with her outside. He even bought her an apartment in a high-end community in New York. Not long after, Tina got pregnant. After Jake's mother found out, she tried every means to make Emily and Jake divorce, but Jake stopped her every time. So Emily never found out. How ridiculous. At that time, Emily really thought Jake was busy with work. Although she had suspected that Jake might have another woman, Jake always had an excuse to make her stop doubting. Looking at Tina, who was clearly pregnant and still confident and elegant, Emily, who was once glamorous, suddenly felt inferior, because Tina was much better than her now. After Tina left, Emily sat there until very late before going home. It was really ridiculous that Jake's mother covered for her son to meet his mistress, hid it from her daughter-in-law, and even helped the mistress try to push her out. Her life was full of lies, deception, and falsehood. The Johnsons admitted everything openly and even told her not to be ungrateful. Her husband, Jake, took out the divorce agreement he had prepared long ago and asked her to sign it. This is the divorce agreement. Sign it and leave. That day, Jake asked to meet her at her favorite coffee shop. As soon as they met, he took out the divorce agreement and asked her to sign it. We can't go to court. If we do, I'll be ruined. Emily, sign it. It's for the best for both of us, Jake said, looking at her with pleading eyes. Pleading. Emily felt like she was seeing things. In her memory, Jake had looked at her with gentle, happy, and lying eyes, but never with pleading eyes. This was really strange. Why can't we go to court? Our marriage from the beginning to the end was a scam. You tricked me into marrying you because you needed the Smith family's help to gain a foothold in New York. You lied to me that you came home late because the company had a big order, but actually you were having a good time with Tina. You lied to me that you needed money, and I asked my dad for it, but you used that money to buy Tina a house. How many more things are you hiding from me, Jake? I'm tired. Don't come to me again. I know everything. I won't sign this divorce agreement. You're dreaming if you want me to leave the house with nothing. After saying that, Emily left. Jake watched Emily's back. She looked even thinner than last time. He used to dote on her so much. How did things end up like this? In the end, he was the one who hurt her the most. Just then, his phone rang. It was his mother calling. Where have you been? Hurry to the hospital. Have you forgotten that today is Tina's prenatal checkup? These words woke Jake up. He looked at Emily's retreating figure, then turned around and rushed to the hospital. On the same street, two people were walking in opposite directions, towards different futures. Not long after, the Johnson family received a court summons. Thus, this one-year-long marriage came to an end. After going through the divorce procedures, Emily received 20 of Jake's company shares, 2 houses, and a car. After more than a year of marriage, this was all she got. As she walked out of the courthouse, Emily let out a sigh of relief. Turning around, she saw Tina standing at the door with a pregnant belly, holding a household registration book. Then, she saw Jake rushing out from inside. Emily smiled. After the divorce, Emily's parents were worried that she would be sad. However, Emily seemed happy every day, which made them even more worried. Emily, leave this city. Go somewhere to relax. Buy whatever you like. Your parents can afford to support you, her father said, but Emily smiled at them and replied, Dad, Mom, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I applied to study abroad some time ago, and everything at the school is arranged. I originally planned to tell you in a few days, but it's okay to tell you now. Study abroad. That's great. Then you can study at school with peace of mind. If you need money, just tell Dad. You're the little princess of our family. You don't need to envy others. Got it? Knowing that their daughter was starting to live a better life, Emily's parents felt relieved. Time flew by, and it was time for Emily to leave. Emily, don't worry. I've contacted Uncle Kent. He'll arrange everything, her father said, still worried about her. Okay. Dad, I know. I'll take good care of myself. Emily said goodbye to her parents and got on the plane. The outline of the plane gradually became smaller in her parents' sight. Her mother shed tears. I hope Emily can forget all this. I also hope she can meet someone who truly loves her. She will. Everything will be okay. Besides, with the relationship between the G family and ours, don't worry, Emily won't be bullied. When the plane landed, Emily saw Uncle Kent. Is that you, Emily? It's been so long. You've really grown into a beautiful young lady. Even though he had heard that Emily had been married, the divorced Emily exuded more maturity and stability. She also became quieter. Uncle Kent, you're flattering me. I'm not the same person as before. It's just a facade, Emily said, away from her parents. She didn't need to pretend to be indifferent. Uncle Kent knows. Come on, I'll take you back to the manor. These days, Kent will accompany you to have fun and relax, and then you can go to school to report. Mr. Kent said, knowing the purpose of Emily's study abroad. He sincerely hoped that she could adjust her state to the best. Okay, Uncle Kent, I'll trouble you during my stay abroad. No trouble at all. Let's go. Mr. Kent arranged for Emily to live in the manor. Emily had her own small courtyard. The G family's manor was huge, with a garden, a lake, rockeries, and grasslands. One day, Emily met Aunt Kent. Oh, come here quickly. Let Auntie have a good look at you. Madeline held Emily's hand tightly. A few days ago, I heard from your Uncle Kent that you were coming. So I arranged my work and flew back immediately. You must stay here for a long time this time. Emily, keep Auntie company. Okay, I'm here for studying abroad. Auntie, don't get tired of me then, Emily said with a smile, making some jokes. Auntie hopes you stay. I tried to persuade you to come before, but you ended up staying in the country. Now, just focus on your studies and don't worry about anything else. Your Uncle Kent will take care of everything, Madeline said, shaking her head regretfully. Ahem, right, since he entrusted you to us. We'll be responsible for you. We've already contacted the school. You won't live on campus. After class, the driver will pick you up. Mr. Kent, who was reading a newspaper beside them, was suddenly mentioned. He looked up at his wife. Coughed softly after receiving the signal. Emily noticed the interaction between Mr. Kent and Mrs. Madeline. She thought this kind of relationship was the best, even though she seemed to have recovered on the surface after the divorce. In the dead of night, Emily couldn't help but shed tears secretly, sometimes. Madeline would wake up early and see the red blood in Emily's eyes, and she would feel heartbroken. At first, Emily had some difficulties keeping up with her studies. However, she had a good foundation. With the help of famous tutors hired by Mr. Kent and Mrs. Madeline, Emily soon became a top student. Although Emily was of Chinese origin, she won several international awards on her own, which made the professors look at this Chinese-American girl with new eyes. Time passed quickly. Emily completed 4-year courses in 2 years. After returning to the country, Emily joined YL Company. YL Company was the largest financial company in Asia. The business competition here was even more brutal than Emily had imagined. As the vice president of YL Company, Emily had to produce more efficient work to make her subordinates obey. With her career booming, Emily's abilities were unanimously recognized by the YL Company's senior management. Soon, she was sent abroad for further study by the head office. There, Emily met Leonard, the chairman of YL Company. Leonard was the person Emily trusted the most. He was the one who saved Emily on that rainy night. After Emily's divorce, he suggested that she study abroad. When Emily returned to the country, he arranged for her to join YL Company. This overseas further study was also his doing. He was like Emily's mentor, always showing up when she needed him the most and giving her the most suitable advice. Now, Cupid is pulling the strings between them. During his time with Emily, Leonard grows to love her. Once, Emily drank too much at a cocktail party. Leonard sent her home and took care of her all night. Leonard knew he had fallen in love with Emily. However, Emily was very sensitive about relationships. She closed herself off. Even though Leonard had helped her before, she refused him and even wanted to leave him, worried that Emily would leave him. Leonard could only treat her with caution. During the 1-year further study, Leonard didn't deliberately hide his identity. Then, Emily found out that Leonard was the son of Kent and Madeline. According to their ages, it was appropriate for Emily to call him brother. Emily knew very well that if she called Leonard brother, their relationship would be limited to that of siblings for the rest of her life. She thought that once she called him brother, Leonard would no longer pester her. But who knew that Leonard became even bolder? Emily, what did you just call me? Say it again, Leonard said, seemingly in disbelief. He grabbed Emily's shoulders to stop her from leaving. Brother. Emily looked at Leonard without hesitation, her eyes shining. As soon as she finished speaking, Leonard suddenly lowered his head, and his lips covered hers. Emily was shocked and forgot to struggle. This gave Leonard the chance to do whatever he wanted. When Emily came to her senses, Leonard had already taken advantage and was acting innocent. Brother. Emily, do you know what these 2 words can do to a man who loves you? It can drive him crazy. Emily, don't push my limits, Leonard said. Then hugged Emily tightly. The close contact made Emily clearly feel Leonard's body. That passion not only burned Leonard but also gradually melted Emily's heart. Suddenly, Emily felt a little scared. Her body became as stiff as a log, and she didn't dare to move. Having been married before, Emily knew exactly what this meant. She just couldn't figure out why Leonard would like her. Emily ran away, right in front of Leonard's eyes, watching Emily's retreating figure. Leonard touched his lips. There was still a faint taste left. The disobedient little rabbit wants to run. But can she escape? A wolf that has been hungry for too long won't always eat vegetables. Leonard took Emily to meet his parents. Unexpectedly, when Kent and Madeline saw Emily, they looked at her as if she were their own daughter, almost ignoring Leonard, although he had told his parents that he was pursuing Emily. The progress was not going well. He didn't expect that his parents wouldn't help him at all and even asked Emily to call him brother. Brother, these 2 words, coming from Emily's mouth, were especially alluring. They almost made him lose his mind. His impulsive actions scared Emily away. And Emily returned to the country, worried that Emily would be bullied after returning to the country. Leonard gave her his most capable assistance. Emily never thought that after so many years, the first acquaintance she met after returning to the country was Tina. The pampered life had worn away Tina's composure. When they met again after all these years, Tina looked at the imposing Emily and seemed to see herself in the past. Emily looked at the woman who had once destroyed her marriage. She was surprisingly calm, listening to Tina's complaints about her marriage and her determination to get Jake's property. And thinking about Jake's mother. Emily thought that Tina might not have chosen Jake for himself but for the company shares and huge benefits behind him. After returning to the country, Emily received a financing cooperation offer from her ex-husband. Jake's company. God gave Emily an opportunity, and she seized it. Gaining a broader perspective, God gave Jake a choice. He chose so-called love but almost lost his family when they met again after so many years. Emily had become the well-known president of YL Company in the business world, with Leonard, a director of YL Company, by her side. Jake's company, on the other hand, was severely damaged due to the divorce between Jake and Emily. It still hadn't recovered even after all these years. Jake was shocked when he saw Emily. He even told her that he had been forced by his mother and had no choice. Looking at Jake like this, Emily was very calm. Even indifferent. She didn't even have the interest to continue the financing cooperation. Leonard, who was negotiating a cooperation abroad, was worried when he learned that Emily had met Jake again. He quickly arranged to return to the country. When he got back to the company, he found that Emily wasn't at the company. Leonard immediately drove to Emily's parents' house. Emily's father and mother were shocked when they saw Leonard. When they heard that Emily was missing, they quickly went out to look for her. The sky was gray, and it was drizzling. They couldn't find Emily in her apartment, the park, or the mall she often went to. Finally, Leonard found Emily at the crossroads where they first met, staring blankly at the traffic lights. Leonard, I've long stopped hating them, and I've long realized that I can't live without you. You've managed to fill my world and my heart. Let's give it a try. If you don't meet my expectations, my resignation letter will be in your mailbox immediately. Although the rain was heavy, Emily's words were extremely clear to Leonard. Leonard chose Emily. Their plain sailing relationship made their love grow slowly. Leonard and Emily worked together, doubling the territory of YL Company in a prosperous and peaceful world. Their relationship was enviable. The huge business empire was also a testament to their love. Emily didn't like publicity, so their wedding was very low-key. Leonard only invited their parents and friends. However, due to their high profile, Emily and Leonard only released their wedding photos. Emily had a smile in her eyes, and Leonard's eyes were full of Emily. The best love was to accompany each other loyally for a lifetime. Some people say that love can keep two people together, and marriage can make them faithful. In Emily's eyes, after experiencing so many things, she didn't need the passionate love of a young girl. She needed a plain and simple love, as calm as water, with occasional romance. In Leonard's eyes, if Emily hadn't entered his world, his life might have been limited to the cutthroat business world. Emily was his destination and his redemption. No one can turn back. This is the cruel reality.